Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and letting us light up that motivation to keep pushing your capoeira trainings and for tuning in. Train hard, stay motivated, and bring your shit to the hoda. Bring it on. Let's roll. What's up, Capoeira Nation? Welcome back to the Capoeira Experience podcast. Thank you so much for hanging in there, being positive, keep training, inspiring everybody in the Capoeira community, and keep in touch. Even we don't have personal touch, but stay in touch with all your friends. And today I have the huge pleasure to bring on another friend of mine from Ominira, and all the way from London. Contramestre Bombril, how you doing, man?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you. Thanks, Kashishi. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, my pleasure to have you here. It's a big honor to have you, and I'm big admirer of your capoeira and all your work.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you usually have a YouTube channel, right? You have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel with my name, Edgar Bombril. It's
Okay.
normally I post like the events I go and some tutorials and workshops. So it's been quite popular. So it's really nice to see you guys. Edgar Bombril.
Edgar Bombril, and that's the same for your Instagram, right?
Everything is like a brand. It's like my name is a brand. So yes, everything Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, everything is Edgar Bombril.
Awesome. So people can follow you. Go ahead and follow there, and man, you're gonna
Thank
get a
you.
lot of inspirations. Yes, yeah, of course. And how stuff are doing there with all these quarantine and virus stuff there?
It's tough. I think I believe it's tough for everyone. We're still in lockdown. As I don't know. I think it's for a few more weeks, but that's a person I believe they will extend it because most of the countries they start first. They keep extending, and the UK was one of the last to go to the lockdown. So I assume until the other countries start reopening, we're going to still be on the same system. I don't believe we're going to be the first ones, but that's just a personal belief. And but we're doing good. I teach online using the online platforms to stay in touch with the students, and not everyone is taking part, of course, but it's doing good. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy. Among all this disaster, we still have been able to teach and be in touch with the students and keep training.
That's awesome. And since you mentioned that you are teaching online and all that, how are you doing to keep that motivation to keep pushing those students? Because in personal is completely different than online.
It's definitely yes. Is you don't have the same. The energy is different. Um, but we've been doing like classes every day, and I think people crave a little bit more to train when they're all there at home. So they might be a bit depressed and anxiety and everything, but they by being home all day, they're looking to train more. So we normally have students that they train 2-3 times a week, and nowadays they're training like 7 times a week, just to be motivated, just to forget what's going on.
Yeah.
So those who are training, they end up training more often. And some of them, to be honest, I haven't seen them. To be honest, people just react to this situation in different ways.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've seen too through your social media that a lot of people are joining your classes like from all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. You have like a consistency on countries that are following your.
Yes, I have a lot of people from a few countries. So people come regular to the classes. So we do like open classes sometimes, so everyone can join without charging. So I got people that come to the regular classes pay. So I have people from Europe. Most countries nowadays, most countries are people that can speak English
Yeah.
because the majority of my classes, or the majority of the are my students. So I end up teaching in English. So the people that normally teach understand English join my classes. So that's what we've been doing. And we have like open challenge, like KDR challenge, categories. So that it's not a lot of instruction. So So a lot of people from Brazil and other countries like Poland and everything, they come and join the classes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I seen that you have so many challenges. You have the catching hand, you have handstands. What
Yes,
others you have around there?
I have what I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing cadrins,
Uh-huh.
handstands, bridge, stretching, and running. I was doing running every day. I ran like every day for like 100 something days. But
Wow,
then
that's awesome.
my baby born, and every time I go to the park, I have to carry him. So I go for a walk. So it doesn't really consider as running. So I kind
Yeah,
of I took that as a fail uh, to go. But that's the challenge I'm doing at the moment. I've been doing for like pretty much every day for like almost like 2 years.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's pretty cool how like you keep people active. You know, you like, come on, let's
Yeah,
do
I
this,
like to
let's do
challenge
this.
people. I
Yeah,
like to challenge
that's,
people. It's really good.
yeah, no, that's awesome, and I really like it. I really like
Thank
those
you.
those challenges. Yeah, and I appreciate a lot the motivation. You know, like I'm pretty sure out there are many capoeiristas are getting inspired by your challenges and your work because you are very consistent and all the stuff.
So people like to, as I normally say, people get more inspired by the process instead of the results. So it's very easy to when you show like you can do something, it motivates some people. But if people see you every day struggling and try to achieve that, I think it motivates more people. So
That's
I
true.
strongly believe that the process inspires more people than the results.
That's actually true. Yeah, yeah, because they can uh, sympathize a little bit more
Exactly.
with the
They see
struggle.
like days I can't do it, days I have pain, but I still training, doing the same exercise, so they can see it. So it does. People really appreciate that I don't just post when it looks good. So I
Yeah,
end up posting every day.
awesome, awesome. I'm a believer of that too. You know, like not everything has to be perfect. I mean, you somehow those great people they struggle to get where they are. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and now that you talk about the those struggles and all that, do you like set up goals per week? Like, okay, this week I'm working on bridge, or this week I'm working on
No, I do every day. So
nice.
my goal, and normally now it's a bit different, as I said, because you're at home. So I end up training like more than 3 4 hours a day, but that's because I'm at home. So I end up training more. But normally my goal so on my schedule is I have to train every day, no excuses, 20 minutes. So normally sometimes I train more. Most of the time I train more, but for minimum could be in pain or I could be sick. I always train every day 20 minutes. That's my goal on my schedule. Every day I have to train 20 minutes. So
That's awesome.
that's now because of the lockdown. It's like it's like 3 hours, 4 hours. Every time I don't have anything to do, I train a little bit.
That's awesome.
So
So, and before this, you used to train like 20 minutes
minimum. So that's the
minimum. Okay,
minimum. But I end up like if it's if I'm feeling good, like an hour and a half. But some days I don't want to train. I still train the 20 minutes regardless of what's happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. And now that's actually a really good point. When you don't feel good, um, that actually leads to the next question. How do you keep that motivation? You know, when you're feeling those days when you just don't feel any.
Uh, just just the ability of one to improve myself and the to inspire other people. Then they see it as like uh, even when you're struggling or even when you're not feeling good, you still train because I think training is fundamental for our living regardless what you do. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be capoeira, but you can go for a jog, or you can go for a run, or you can swim, or everything. But I strongly believe we should move our body and our
yeah,
mind, of course. But on this aspect, at least you have to move your body every day. I think we're made to move, so I think we should do like a minimum every day. Some people might be 20 minutes like me, Some people might be an hour, 2 hours, and some people will be 5 minutes. But we have to put our body to move every day and our mind as well. So
Yeah, that keeps the momentum, and that especially today's days, we these quarantine people go crazy at home, and
oh, definitely, yeah,
they a bunch of emotions to go through,
oh,
and
definitely.
yeah, or if they have a bunch of kids, all that
Oh,
energy at home.
definitely. It's all these things. There's a lot of things. Uncertainty,
Yeah,
what's going on, financials, staying at home, lockdown. Is is very is more mental. I believe it's more mental stress. And so training it does help, and focus and positivity helps as well. So those things helps as well on every day, especially in the moment we're living now.
yeah, yeah. Dude, it's just it's a little hard to be away from people, especially capoeira is such a
Hmm.
personal thing that you need people to do capoeira.
Definitely, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and now since talking about like being person to person with how do you train during the week, like Monday, Tuesdays, or do you set up goals daily, or how do you set up your trainings?
No, I don't. Normally in the mornings, like in the normal, without without a quarantine. Normally I train in the mornings. Normally I do some jiu-jitsu in the mornings, like early mornings. Then I come home and I do my capoeira stuff. I will always start with my challenging handstands and queda de rins and bridge. Then I just see where the my mind and my body leaves me. Sometimes I do some kicks. Then I rest. Then I go to my classes. Then sometimes I do the classes with the students. It's really rare. Then on the weekends I go to events. That's my routine. That's my routine. I normally do
Okay.
here. Like nowadays during the quarantine, I do my training by myself. Then normally I do some classes with people from a different group. So anyone that's doing classes online, or I book some sessions with my higher students, and we do like a Zoom class, a Zoom app. So we do like get like 3 or 4 students, and we train a little bit. So normally that's what I do. Then in the evening I do another more relaxed training. So I end up like always training like 3 sessions a day. On the bad day, I always do 3 sessions, and some days like yesterday was insane, like over like 5-6 hours. Then you just
Oh
today
wow.
is hard. So today I'm like, Shaja, is the day kind of like, well, 20 minutes is fine today. So after 6 hours yesterday of training, and I trained with the Mesh Bugis, the president of the group, and
That's
it's like,
awesome.
so it's like tired, like those
Sore,
tough,
tired.
yeah, tough, and everything is like, oh, when do I start my training? So it's like 4 o'clock here now, so 20 past 4, and I haven't done my 20 minutes, but I'm sure if when I start warming up, probably I'll do more. So
Yeah,
those are
yeah,
the days you kind of afterwards, 20 minutes a day is fine.
yeah. But I'm sure, like once you get that momentum, you're like,
Yeah,
ah,
most of the days like
I'm
this.
gonna
Most
do
of the days
25.
when you started, then you just like you say, "Ah, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay."
Yeah, you can be like 25, oh probably 30, and then the hour goes away.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And uh, did you had any events planned for this year? How do you deal
Loads.
with it? Yeah.
Loads. It's normally I travel like about 25, 30 events throughout the year. So,
Wow.
so like
Cool.
I don't even just I was just talking with my friends. They just like reschedule for next year, just change the flights for next year. Was speaking with him. So until September, I don't think they they all cancel. So I don't have no idea. And people that like October, November. My event is in November, so I not even thought about. But pretty much everyone that has events until September, they all cancelled. It's fine for it's sad and you don't see people, but I don't really live from events, so and the financial part, so it doesn't really affect me so much. But it's really sad that they canceled and will pay a big cost for them, and some of them already pay for the tickets,
Wow.
and there are real tickets and things all like this. Making a lot of things, making T-shirts, everything is done. Some things you can push forward, and some airlines they are not giving the money back, so you have to reschedule. So it's really there's a lot of things. Some students are asking for the money back. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of things that people that are doing the event now are going through. My event is in November, so I haven't thought about anything. And but all the events are cancelled. Like in here, all of them. There's no. It's
Yeah.
like
Especially like this, a little bit like high season for events like this, like
yeah,
spring. Well, I don't know about the if you guys there in London have all the season like spring, winter, summer, but like here in the US, at least spring and fall is the season for
yeah.
events.
Now it's like every weekend, from March to July. July is like before you go to summer. Like people actually go to summer. Most people stop teaching. It's events like 10 events every weekend that people I
Wow,
know.
that's awesome.
Every is not, doesn't have a single weekend without events every
That's
until
awesome.
the beginning of August. Then people normally stop August and September because it's like summer when people go on holidays.
Yeah.
Then end of September, people come back with the events, and
Okay.
it's like winter. But the good thing of doing like in the winter is like less events, so it's more people looking for going
That's
to
actually true.
events.
Yeah.
Because summer is better, but everyone does events in the summer.
It's
So
more demand of
more
to
domain,
push to push.
exactly. And people just start getting tired, like 4 or 5 events every weekend, 6, 7. So when winter is the weather is not as good, but it's no events. So people are looking for more events, and so that's why I moved. I used to do in the summer, then I moved to November. It's quite cold, sometimes like rainy and everything here, but it's
Yeah.
no events, but it's always less events.
Nice.
So people
And and
appreciate it.
and it's also slow season for planes too, for the flights stuff,
Yeah,
right?
it's cheaper for everything. Yeah, things
Yeah.
are cheap. Accommodation is cheaper. The flights are cheaper. So it's,
Nice.
the the masters are not so tired because they are not traveling as much. So a lot of variables when you have the event in the winter here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Are you planning on coming to the US sometime soon? I
I
mean,
was supposed to go
of course, right now.
this year again with Match Mindim in Valencia.
Yeah.
So I assume it's been canceled as well because they canceled the other one,
Yeah.
the female one. And I was supposed to go, and I was supposed to go to some Capoeira Brazil. I was kind of not like settled,
Okay.
so no one is talking about events. So everything is just like it's gone. There's like
Yeah.
no doesn't exist anymore. No one's talking. No one's talking about events. People just send you like it's
Holding
canceled.
back everything.
Exactly. No one is talking. People are like postponing. So no one is talking about events. It's like
Yeah, they don't want to think about it. It's like
people don't
damn.
want more stress.
Yeah,
People don't
yeah.
want more stress. They don't. No one is talking about events.
Yeah,
So
like hello, we'll talk about that later.
exactly. So
Yeah.
no idea, no idea. Not
Awesome.
even those who cancel said like, oh, we're planning doing next time. People just waiting until
Yeah.
things start going back. Then we'll start talking about those things. It's going to be really really hard. People have big events this year. I think things will start going back. If things comes back this year, I think people start doing events next year because a lot of students disappeared and people are not gonna coming back. They're not gonna have jobs.
Yeah.
So things to engage again. I think it's gonna be hard to do like events, bringing guests from outside. I think it's gonna be really challenging
Yeah.
for the capoeira schools to do big events. I think this year, if the events exist this year, will be really small. Then next year, if things are starting going back to normal, then we'll start, or even like 2 years until that's my perspective.
Yeah.
Until things like people restarting, people going back to training, people have money and all these things to
Start coming back
engage
up
again.
again.
Exactly, to pick a pace again, some momentum. But definitely. I'll say next year or in 2 years if things goes back to normal this year.
Yeah, hopefully,
Yeah,
because
I
I mean,
hope so.
because yeah, because we want those a couple of schools to be there,
Oh,
you know.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But
and hopefully all the students and everybody out there listening to this supporting your school, you know, that
definitely, yeah,
helps.
what happened. But we don't know how things gonna go. We don't know. Imagine, like, especially US is like a very strict country. If things goes back, they probably don't allow most of the countries to fly to US until a vaccine is done or something, or
Something like that. Yeah,
it's like most countries will not go. And so we don't know. Things might go back, but you might not be able to travel from a country to another. So there's a lot of things we have no idea um, how things gonna be, how the world's gonna be.
that's true. That's true. And now we all these online classes and all and all these. What is your perspective with the near future? You think it's gonna be something really positive for us in the capoeira community?
I believe so. I'm a big. I believe in the internet. I really
Yeah,
believe in the internet as a tool. It's a good tool, a positive tool. So I do believe, and I always been saying to people to have a bigger presence online because I believe you are the quickest way to be known is on the internet.
absolutely.
Okay, so I always been saying that, and with this situation we are seeing with that. Those who know how to work with the internet adapt much quicker, and we see like a lot of masters and people that are not used to use the internet and now they are forced to use it.
Yeah,
And I'm sure when this thing finish, a lot some of them will go back to the way they were doing, just the normal classes. But I think the people, the clever ones, will learn that the internet is a way not to replace, because you can, so as we said, so far we cannot replace the being together to play capoeira,
absolutely.
but it will play a big role to have some online classes or some to provide an extra value to the students with interviews like this, or some classes, or film the classes and people can watch later on, do some trials. So private classes, a lot of things can be done over the internet, and I do believe the internet is very positive, and everyone should learn it regardless of the job they have. That's the world we live, and I don't think it's going to change ever again. We'll go back to a place the internet will not exist.
Yeah,
So everyone that's living now needs to learn how to work with the internet, regardless of what you're doing living. It's like that's going to
yeah,
be that's the future, that's the present, the future, and for the next one, I don't know, 50, 100 years,
yeah,
the internet is always going to be here. So if we need to learn how to take advantage of this tool, not to replace what we do, but to add more value to our students and to the capoeira community.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm a big believer of that too. That because when I started this podcast, I was like, hey man, like I have so many questions in my head,
Yeah,
and there's so many people out there capoeiristas. Why not use the internet as a tool, like you said, for to connect with people, you know, like make new friends and all that.
yeah. Imagine if this pandemic happened, I would say, let's say 15 years ago. Will be capoeira will just probably just collapse, because if we do like 2-3 months, some countries, they like Italy, I think they've been like locked down for 2 months.
Yeah,
That's it. You can't send message to anyone. Post
yeah,
office don't really work as much.
yeah.
Cannot
The
connect with anyone. We cannot. So it
yeah,
does have a benefits, and we kind of glad it happened in this situation. We can have a communication, and we can teach our students and everything. It's perfect? No, but it
yeah.
could be much worse.
Absolutely, it could be worst. And to wrap it up, the last question, one single advice for all capoeiristas listening to this right now.
A single advice is we will survive this, that's for sure. And is trying to remember in 10 years time, you're going to say to your kids, or you're going to say to your students, or you're going to say to your family, do you remember the pandemic? And you're going to say, oh, sorry, I was helping other people going through that, or I was hiding. So I'll take the first option. I say
Yeah,
I was helping, I was not hiding. And you want to be a leader, so you want to be a support. And how can we support? By motivating people to train and to train yourself. So this, I want to remember. We will remember this situation, and for the rest of our lives, everyone's going to remember what we were doing during this situation. And I just want to be like waiting things to go. I want to be part, and the only way I know how to be, or the most effective way I know, is by motivating my students in the capoeira community to
absolutely,
train.
absolutely, and keep moving and keep learning.
It's not easy, and I'm sure. So don't. I'm not saying to everyone, oh, that's very easy. There's a lot of challenging we are going through our lives and everything, jobs and things. But we will survive. So let's help. Let's help everyone. If we help everyone around us, we end up more feeling better.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we, this is the moment to prove how much we love the community, and help each other, support each other, call each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Call
Mhm.
your students. Call your family. Um, do some classes. Ask your students how can you help them, and just be around. Just be active. Be there. You don't need to be online if you don't want it, but try to contact people and try to see what's the best way to read books, listen to
Absolutely,
podcasts of positive things. Just try to be active and see what's when it comes back, you're in the best situation as possible during this situation. I'm not one, so try to do the most. Let's see if you can do something. It's definitely. I think it's more the mental part, especially being alone all day. It's very challenging. But if you can overcome that, you'll be a stronger person in the future.
absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And get out of this situation better than how you
Hmm.
were,
Yeah.
when you got in. Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for the
Thank you. Thank
opportunity.
you
Yeah,
so
and I
much,
know.
Pashi.
Thank you so much, and I know you're pretty busy, so I want to let you
Nah, thank
go.
you, Pashi. Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and we're looking forward to the podcast. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. My goal with this podcast is to inspire you to push your trainings and to help you to understand how awesome capoeira is for us. Help me to spread the positivity by sharing this episode with one friend, two friends, or anyone, so we can inspire more and more and more and more people. Thank you so much again. Don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next Hoda. Keep the greatness. Ashe.